And I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
that's trash.
Oh, merciful heavens. So before we continue on the conversation that we're continuing, hello everybody. Welcome to Catt Chat this evening. My name is Tom Catt, and I am joined by the marvelous, the magical, the mystical JediManda.
That's too many adjectives.
Before we went live, we were discussing. Of course, I mean, I decided to wear my Acmina wig because, you know, in honor of JediManda.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you pull out the best of the best Star Wars content for me. That's so kind.
We were talking about obviously we were talking about the magical, the wondrous, the absolutely asinine Star Wars.
Oh my God. It's so the best part about it is that it's still in the zeitgeist in the community, that all of us are like, well, yeah, of course we love that. We cringe, we hate it, and like it's just like you can tell, but I will watch it every time like someone has a party or something. I don't care.
If there is a party to be had and somebody's watching them, what part are we up to? Oh, we're watching Lumpy. We're watching Lumpy. Okay. And there's not an ounce, not a drop, not an iota of dialogue that is visible. We just have to use our imaginations.
You know, I wonder if it would have been any different if there were subtitles.
No.
Like, do you think it would have been? You think it would have still been like Lumpy is talking about this and blah blah, instead of just the 5 minutes of.
No, I don't think it would have made a bit of difference.
Okay, good.
I think it would have made any difference at all. Worth shot. I am all aboard that train. Just give me one moment. I want to share this to my page. But yes, welcome to Catt Chat, my love. I am so thankful and so honored that you're here. I'm very honored.
Thank you for the invite. I just love these type of very informal, like just friends talking. I've been doing a lot of. I've never met this person, and I have to talk like an hour or two with them about something, either cosplay or book stuff. And I'm like,
that was one of the reasons why I decided to do the show in the first place, because you know, before I had Catt Chat, I had Kat and Kristen, which was, you know, me and my girlfriend, Shut Up Kristen, just shooting the breeze and talking about cosplay. And then, you know, she did her thing, and then I was like, well, I still want to do the thing, but I want to have more guests. And then StreamYard, bless their heart, was like, hey, why don't you use us? I'm like, great, wonderful.
Let's do it.
A whole Excelsior. That's all. Just invite all of these friends that I have as like guests and just talk and just shoot the shit.
I like it. It's very informal, and it's very like, I don't know. I feel like we can just talk about the holiday special, and it's totally fine.
Absolutely. I mean, we could. Oh, the things we could talk about. As a matter of fact, before we started, as we were discussing it, we had mentioned Bob Mackey as the costume designer, which very few people know.
No one knows that, and it sucks. It sucks that it's not for a Star Wars fan, because I love to be like, yeah, we've been touched by Mackey, but also the fact that it was the holiday special. And you know what? The costumes weren't terrible. The only fun like note I have to add about the costumes is the amount of Wookiee costumes that were needed and how fast they ran out of cash.
So
did you know that fact at the end, why they're all wearing robes, all the Wookiees?
Yeah.
They ran out of money. And so they only had enough money to do Wookiee heads.
It became part of the lore.
It became the fact that now Wookiees have to wear red robes, and in reality, the production team ran out of money to costume all the Wookiees, and so they only had enough for the heads, and so that's why everyone's just wearing robes. They're just naked. Well, not naked, but they're just wearing street clothes underneath
they're in regular clothing underneath those robes. That's wild. Absolutely. As a matter of, you know, one of my very good friends actually sent me a Christmas card one year, basically saying how B. Arthur had no idea what she was a part of. Her agent just basically said, here, just there, just performance it, just do what George Lucas tells you to do. And then
God.
Saying, I think a few years later in some thing that she didn't know it was part of Star Wars. She did not know that it was part of Star Wars lore. She did not know, and she wanted then any videotapes to subsequently be burned.
Oh my God, her and everybody else. But seriously, have you ever heard Carrie Fisher talk about it? Oh no, George Lucas asks for everything to be burnt.
Yeah, George Lucas wants everything to be tarnished and thrown away.
Well, I mean, at that time it was 78, so it wasn't 77. So by that time, Star Wars was in the world and it was huge. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't know.
Well, she just, but then again, people with these funny masks and faces on. She didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Star Wars in the 70s was a game changer for film and everything, and a lot of actors and critics didn't take it seriously. I mean, Alec Guinness did it for the check, and he was like, I wanted to play a space wizard. That sounded like fun. And everybody else is like, that's what you're known for. And I bet if you asked him today, like in the grave, he's like, you didn't know me for my Broadway plays and Shakespeare. We're like, no, we only know you for that fight you made with the guy in the big black cloak.
Yep, we know you for that moment and that moment alone.
I have him on a pint glass because Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, I think there was a booth that was selling Guinness shirts that were in the logo of Guinness beer and pint glasses, and I got me some pint glasses of Guinness beer that has his face on it.
Yes, you did. So I do want us to focus a little bit on Star Wars. I do want us to focus on chicken nuggets. I want us to focus on,
I want some chicken nuggets.
I want to focus on everything that we had talked about. So you and I had met. I think the first time that we had officially met was it at C2E2 this year?
I think so. Yeah, because we were on stage together acting like dingbats,
like goons. So the first time I had known JediManda for a while before I actually met her. And we were both competing in the needlework portion of the Crown Championships for C2E2. And we ended up standing next to each other. And here I am, this 6'7" evil queen next
so tall,
costumed Katana, and we're just looking at each other, and then she starts posing like she's ready to fight. I love that picture of us.
It's one of my favorites. Every time people clip that like stage part in that show, everyone's always like, look at Amanda and Tom like hamming it up, and I'm like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm not gonna place. I'm just gonna I'm gonna cause people to look at me back and stupid. Therefore, you can look at my outfit more.
That is honestly part of the fun.
It is.
So obviously the question that I ask everybody is, how did you get into cosplay?
I just started this year. I'm not kidding. Wouldn't that be interesting if I just like fooled everybody lying and I'm actually 17 years old? I'm not. I got into it a bit differently than most people. I went to school for fine art painting.
Yeah.
And portraiture artistry, and my subject matter were women in clothing, and that was like what I painted, and I drew a lot of inspiration from the clothing, what they're wearing, and that's how I posed my models, and that's how I toned my pictures, and blah blah blah. And so over time, my mentor, I was like, I just want more exciting clothes, but like my models are not bringing in like ball gowns,
Yeah,
they're like wearing t-shirts and shorts. So she was like, why don't you take some sewing classes and make stuff for them? And I was like, oh, okay. And so luckily our college had costume design courses. They didn't have a track, like you couldn't go graduate with a costume design degree, but you could take costume design 101, you could take sewing techniques 1 and 2, and then just work in the costume shop if you wanted to.
That's fabulous.
And so I was lucky that my college had that state school. Yay. Yeah. So I took costume design, and I've always been interested in costumes. Like I've always cared a lot about costumes and fashion because that's also what I was drawn to in portraiture. And so I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I like really liked it. And then I took the sewing classes and I was like, okay, I really like sewing now. And then I got a job immediately working in a tailor shop.
That's fantastic.
On wedding dresses. And so I started like sewing super fast and super like professional level really quickly. And I didn't start cosplaying till 2012, and that's when I graduated college. So I was already at a professional sewing level and doing everything for other people. And then I got work at various costume shops locally. I worked at the ballet in the costume shop, dressing dancers, and I've worked with other actors and stuff like that. And basically, it came down to the fact that I was really tired of dressing them in my art and me not wearing it because I'm a ham and I'm not wearing my art. So I was like, I've got to find an outlet. I'm not really an actor. I don't really care for stage. And like, from Kentucky. I'm not different if I was in LA or something like that. And so I was like, I like comic books and Star Wars. And so people were like, well, why don't you go to a convention? I'm like, well, I don't live in San Diego or New York. And they're like, girl, there's conventions everywhere. And I was like, okay. And so
you're lying. You're absolutely lying.
I'm not kidding. I didn't know about any of this stuff until like 2012. I knew about San Diego Comic Con.
It was honestly the same for me. I didn't like.
Yeah. I didn't
actively like start going to conventions like around the same time, 2011, 2012.
And I knew in high school, I knew what San Diego Comic Con was. I watched G4 and, you know, Attack of the Show, and they would always be there. And I'd always hear about the cool, you know, Spider-Man movie trailers from San Diego Comic Con. But I never thought it was like, you go there in costume. I'm like, people go there, but they're in like shitty costumes. And I was like,
you're in the store-bought costume.
And so I was like, okay. So I created my very first costume, which was Katana, weirdly. It's been a full circle now this year. From Mortal Kombat 3 in a group, and we went to our local comic book convention in 2012, and I was like, I am here. I am ready. Let's go. So that's how I got there. And then from there,
just
rest is history.
Rocketed to stardom.
No. Yes. Absolute stardom.
Friends, mediocrity.
Absolute stardom. And sitting in Louisville, Kentucky, pleading harem pants.
I was going to say, show it off. Please show it off. What is this for exactly?
It's for Ahsoka Tano. She's
of course.
Oh well, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Her new appearance. These are her pants that she wears in the new Mandalorian series.
Yep.
They're basically harem pants, and so I'm trying to figure out the pleating right now. So I'm just excited because she's wearing big baggy pants, and I'm like, my thighs are so happy. I don't have to wear a super suit. Yay.
As someone who also wears cat suits, I understand completely the importance of breathability down there. Yes. Very important. Very, very, very important. It's also a very comfortable costume.
Hopefully.
I mean, I think from what I've seen in both, from what I've seen in Clone Wars and in The Mandalorian, it's a relatively detailed costume, but I think the hardest part is going to be in the waist. What is that called?
The OB and the belt, leather belt stuff. Yeah, actually, my Ahsoka outfit from Rebels, the one I'm more known for, is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever worn. And I'll never forget this because I was at Star Wars Celebration and I ran into Dave Filoni, who's the creator of, you know, Clone Wars and Ahsoka. And he was so excited about my outfit and the cosplay. We chatted, and then he was just like, I just gotta ask, are you comfortable in that? And I was like, no. Her armor is really uncomfortable, but I'm like, it's animation, you know, how do you make that transition? So like
translation from
and I told him straight up, I was like, these greaves are really uncomfortable, how far they go down, how they hit on my knee, like it's really odd, and like how the armbands and things were. And then I kind of, when I was watching The Mandalorian, I was like, he made it comfortable. Did he take my note? Did he take my note about please don't make Ahsoka uncomfortable?
I have seen a number of production companies and animation studios. They take it very seriously because they know that those characters are going to be cosplayed as.
Yeah, and we're just walking marketing tools, so why not make it to where we can make it comfortable?
Walking billboard. We're walking billboards.
We are walking billboards. I just gotta learn how to monetize it correctly.
Speaking of monetizing things correctly, you knew this was coming, darling. You knew it was coming. How have you been able to market yourself? And to those unaware, JediManda did write a beautiful book called.
Let me get it. Get it.
Please go and get it. Market yourself for Christ's sake.
Here it is. Boop. There's my face.
Creative cosplay. I still need to grab my copy.
I have a few left on my website if you want to get it through me or Amazon, whichever one you want to do. But yes, here's one way. Huh?
What did you say? After the show.
Yeah.
So I am familiar with two very well-known published cosplayers. Obviously, we all know Canvas Cosplay, Phil, and you. So talk about the process of how you created the book.
Well, I was headhunted by this publishing company, and it's so weird. I don't know how this cloud fell in my lap, but it did. The booking agent that I worked with, she's from Indianapolis, and she went to Gen Con one year, and it happened to be the year I was guest of honor at Gen Con, which that con was not good for me personally. And so she heard me talk at one of the panels, and I didn't think I did a great job, but she was like, I just thought you were so knowledgeable, and like I thought you'd be a great fit for like making a book about cosplay. And I was like, no. I told her no immediately, because I was like, I don't write. There's one of the reasons I studied art in college is because I have a really hard time with reading comprehension. English classes, grammar, and I did not.
Words are hard.
Do well. And I grew up reading comic books and doing sequential art, and having pictures help me get through books, because I would be very distracted and put down the book and not finish it. So I didn't do well in English. That's basically what I'm saying. And so she was just like, well, you know what? My company, we specialize in hobby craft books, but our authors are artists, first, and authors second. And I was like, so basically what you're saying is that there's people that can help me write this thing, right? And she said, absolutely. And so I'm not saying that the whole book was written by somebody else. Every single word in this was mine. However, I love run-on sentences, according to my editor. So I had a really great editor and a really awesome mentor team to help me get through the book and write this book. But yeah, I did it. It took me 1 year completely from start to finish to do this thing.
Now, what if you can address some of the content of the book without giving too much away to the public?
Okay. It is about it's about basically they wanted me to write it as a cosplay 101 book, and I've done tons of those type of panels, and so I was like, oh, I can do this. But they were like, we want you to talk about the culture and how to do the thing. And I was like, okay. So there's a little bit of culture at the beginning. I talk about like the psychology, social media, kind of the game that most people see. And then I go into sewing basics, because I feel like there's a lot of books out there on cosplay, but they're about like foam work or like how to alter something small. There's not. I think Kamui has one sewing book, which is good.
Has one sewing book out, yes,
which is great. But I wanted another sewing cosplay book, and so that's why I was like, I really emphasized that with him. I was like, first off, that's my mode. I'm mostly a seamstress, and so let me talk about how to sew a thing. And so basically it's a lot about the culture, it's a lot about the psychology, but it's also how to sew, how to research, how to finalize, how to level up your costumes. And it talks about competitions and what it's like to have a photo shoot with a photographer and costuming, and how weird it is to not what to do with your hands, because we're all not models and we got into this. I'm still not. Oh goodness!
Wonderful. I'm very proud of you. And it literally only took you a year to get it done.
My contract was, they contacted me in October of 2018, and my book came out October 2019, and my book came out September of this year. So yeah, about a year from like me signing the papers going, oh my God, what am I doing? And then to this.
But you figured it out, and that's
I
wonderful.
did. I did. I had a couple of early, especially at the beginning, where I was like, I don't know where to freaking start. And like I had like a 100-page author guideline that kind of walked me through how to do the thing, but like still trying to compartmentalize what and how I write. And like, I didn't do any of this stuff since college, you know? So I was just like very much out of my element. But I realized that I'm really good at writing in outlines. And then separating those outlines into paragraphs, and then connecting those paragraphs. And then once I got past the hurdle of the table of contents, which is like the first thing you do when you write a book, and then just kind of breaking it down, and then it's weird, kind of magically all comes together. It's a very strange way to describe it, but it was kind of like magic. I'm not saying that I was, up all night, writing paragraphs in these narrative prose that people would have to edit for days. And I was like, no, things were in bullet points for a long time. Until I made them in paragraphs with a lot of run-on sentences, and I still really don't know how to use a semicolon.
I mean, I don't think very many people do.
No, but I did learn a lot. I learned a lot, and so I am going to be doing a book 2.
Yay! That's
yay!
wonderful.
I know, I'm so excited. And so writing it now, I feel like I have less monkeys on my shoulder, but it's still a lot because then I have to figure it out too.
You were able to successfully publish a book.
Yeah, that's weird to think. If you would have asked me, high school Amanda in 2007, what would you be doing right now? I would have never said author. I would have laughed in your face so much. I would have been like, I'm a famous painter, animator for Disney. And I'm like, no, far from that, darling. Well, not that far, I guess.
When it comes to cosplay, there's always a level that you never really think you're going to reach.
Yeah. I had no idea I would have been doing this when I went to Derby City Comic Con in 2012, dressed as Katana at a, convention. I would have never thought that, ever. But it's cool, and I'm happy that it's here, and I really like it, and it's discovered a lot. It's basically cosplay has discovered a lot about myself, and I feel like that's that happens a lot with people in cosplay, no matter what level or how long you've been doing it. You discover a lot about yourself, whether it's good or bad.
Whether it's good or bad, she's like, no, you're right. You're right. So you are very prominent amongst Star Wars cosplay fans, amongst cosplayers in general. How do you, and you obviously have a sizable following, how do you feel about algorithms? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I've never asked another cosplayer this question, but the algorithms from many social media sites are a point of contention.
They are, especially Instagram right now. I don't know what's going on because, well, especially this year, I feel like all of us are taking a good hard look at our social media and wondering, is it even worth it? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? Because I mean, with this year, the boom of TikTok and all of us, maybe getting a TikTok, maybe not getting a TikTok, or pushing ourselves on YouTube.
Yep.
It's all over the place. And I have fallen into do what I really want to do and the people will come. But also it's weird because I feel like I'm lucky enough to have content of stuff that I like to do, which is Star Wars, and that's hot right now. And so I'm getting that people are coming into my stuff, doing that. But like a lot of my friends are like, I'm dry. I have nothing that I want to cosplay, or like there's just no new content.
But 2020 definitely, in terms of just on the pandemic alone, has like really taken a lot of business away from a lot of cosplayers.
It really has. I mean, the photographers are gone.
Yep.
I mean, my best friend Alex, who shoots all my stuff, like she's into dice making right now, and she's making a killing on her Etsy store. But she's lucky enough to be an amazing craftsman and artisan that she's, fallen into another hobby that's a good monetization for her, plus doing photographs. But like her job was convention photography, and it's gone.
It's definitely taken a heavy toll on a lot of creatives. And it sort of makes us ask the question, do we want to continue to cosplay?
Yeah.
Do we want to like well, not even do we want to continue to cosplay, do we want to make that outfit? Do we want to, because before the convention scene, just so obviously after C2E2 there was I think Planet cosplay.
Planet was the weekend. Planet Comic Con was the weekend. Everything stopped
right
because I think it was
C2E2.
Yeah, it was Planet was canceled, I think, because Alex was going, and then they canceled it immediately. So our convention was the last convention of the year. How?
The last convention of the year.
I don't know how we got past that.
And we had no choice.
Yeah,
we had no choice. But I had a list of cosplays that I was going to start working on as soon as I got home. And then the pandemic happened, and then everything just sort of was on lockdown.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing the amount of conventions. They're like, we're canceling for 2021. We're canceling for. We're going to move the cost. We're going to move the convention to December of 2021. It's just so wild.
Yeah. But did you
go ahead?
Did you look at it? I mean, it was all this is a negative. So yes, but did you look at it as like, oh, well, some of these cons are canceled. I have more time to work on something that I want to put more time and effort to? Or did you look at it as like, oh, well, I don't have a reason to do it right now?
It was kind of a mix of both, actually. Once, so interviewing Tomcat.
Yes. This is my chat now.
This is my chat now.
Welcome to Jedi Chat. Don't come at me, Lucasfilm.
So I lost my job at the end of March, beginning of April. Oh. At the end of April, I started doing drag shows because I was like, a way to make some type of income, because unemployment just wasn't coming to me yet. I was unable to apply for unemployment because of everything that had just happened. So I was like really like trying to scramble everything. I didn't end up getting my unemployment until like August.
Oh,
yeah, it was just
no,
it was like down to the wire, really. And I was just like, I am not going to work anywhere because there's a friggin' pandemic happening.
Yeah.
So when it was finally approved, I just took all of the money that I basically had and started putting it into voiceover. I got a new mic, I got voice acting classes, voiceover classes and whatnot. And I just sort of dove into a field that I was really, really interested in diving into. And again, it's just another creative outlet. Voiceover is just another creative outlet. I have drag, I have cosplay, I have voiceover. Those are my three strengths.
Nice.
But in terms of work, I just don't want to go anywhere because there's still a pandemic going on.
Yeah, there's still sickness outside.
There's still an ick going on. There is still a plague. I don't think years ago when the plague was happening, people were just like, oh yeah, sure, it's fine, no big deal. I lost an arm, who cares?
It's fine. I'm
not worried. I'm not worried at all.
No, they're like, no.
But it was really just one of those things where I'm like, if I'm going to build anything, I'm not going to be able to like wear it to a convention for another couple of months, maybe even a year or so. So I really sort of had to like take a deep, long look at myself, as I'm sure you did as well, and basically say, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to design to create content for my social medias? Am I going to put a pause on everything and focus on something else? And I feel like that was a conversation that a lot of people had to have with themselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did. But mine, like, I went the opposite direction. I knew that I could still do photographs and I could still pump it on my social media. And I have a YouTube channel that I really love and enjoy making tutorials for. And I was like, that's all at home. Let's do it. My roadblock was the fact that I like to do a lot of new content. I like to do the newest Star Wars or the newest Marvel outfit, but none of that was coming.
None of that was coming out either.
So I literally for 2020, my outfits were okay. The concept art from WandaVision, or the concept art from Doctor Strange 2. If anything pops in the Mandalorian before Ahsoka, came down. Do a new, something from that. But I like all my stuff was wrapped up in what the entertainment's going to give me. And so when I finished Yennefer from The Witcher,
it was an absolutely gorgeous outfit.
Oh, she's gorgeous, and she's so heavy.
So heavy. I remember seeing it started, and I'm like, "You gonna have legs for days, my dear." That is not an easy cosplay to walk around.
No, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, because I originally was gonna put it was a Dragon Con outfit for this year, before I knew what 200 yards of rope trim felt like. No one likes that. No. But so after that, I was kind of like, I don't know what to make. I kind of was like, well, maybe I can get into Game of Thrones stuff, or Mortal Kombat has some stuff coming out. Maybe I can do that. But I was kind of scraping the bottom of the bucket on things that I wanted to do, and like, everybody has a costume list of stuff they've always wanted to do, but is that enough to push us forward? And so that's been my struggle this year, was like, do I dump a bunch of money into an outfit that I love and I would like to do, or do I just kind of like sit tight, make some small things, see when the Mandalorian comes, see if there's anything to make,
No,
that's kind of what. Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to JediManda Martini last week, and I invited her and a couple of other wonderful people to to do a Disney masquerade cosplay group. And it had there was so many people, and I was planning it for Katsucon of next year, and I had to cancel it because of just what has been going on.
Yeah,
the last thing I made myself was the cape for that. Was the cape for the Evil Queen design? Well, am I gonna wear it? Like, am I gonna?
What am I gonna do?
Like, where do I go? What do I do at this point?
Yeah.
And again, it's a question that a lot of people have had to ask themselves, because I am positive that there are people that started working on something, and then the pandemic happened, and then they had that immediate like screeching tires moment where it's just like, well, what do I do now?
I hate it, because everybody functions differently in the cosplay world. A lot of us do just the group cosplays. A lot of us do. I mean, I call myself a hype cosplayer, because I'm like, oh, there's a new Captain Marvel outfit. Throws everything off the work table. Make it now.
Make it now.
That's my kind of level. So I've been having to wait for that. But I've had a lot of friends that have like, well, I've had like 4 group outfits for Dragon Con that were really cool. Now I don't have anything. Do I still make those group costumes? It stinks. But I'm like, being as positive person as I could be, and I'm like, get yourself a backdrop, get yourself a tripod, shoot your costumes, make yourself feel good by getting into costume, have a little bit of a feeling of a convention. I've never realized that I was this attached to conventions until now.
To the people that go to conventions frequently, there is definitely a strong connection.
Yeah.
I've been seeing posts from like Pepper Monster. I've been seeing posts from Lucky Grimm. I've been seeing posts from, who else has posted it? My friend Billy, who's a photographer in Massachusetts, like sharing that one image of like, it's Monday morning of the convention. Everybody's pretty much leaving. You and your friends decide to get sushi. And I'm like, I miss that.
Yeah.
That's so
much.
And
I don't think I've really ever thought about that for conventions, because I'm so gung-ho about getting an outfit done, or getting photo shoots planned, or getting like media stuff set up, that I'm never like, let's plan dinner. And like, or if that happens like when I get there. But
convention. Who is she? I don't know her.
But that aspect of cosplay is something that really has sucked. The fact that I can't go get sushi with my friends from across the country. that we're all meeting up in Atlanta and doing shit. But
I have been told by so many people, you need to go to Dragon Con, you need to go to Dragon Con, you need to go to Dragon Con. And I'm like, is it really that magical? And then of course they're like, yes.
It's magical if you can handle it. And I've had bad Dragon Cons.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to where I left at 4 a.m. on Sunday one time. Like, it wasn't good. And it also, I was very ill. So there was reasons. But, Dragon Con is different for everybody. I always want to tell people. And I always want to say, like, you have to examine your party level. And some people don't like
what it
that.
is. That's all Dragon Con is. Dragon Con is like KatsuCon 2.5.
Yeah, well, I feel like with KatsuCon, the party isn't as intense because maybe it's more spread out at Katsu. I don't know. I don't really party at Katsu. Our party is like 4 friends come back to our room, we share a bottle of wine,
From the pictures that I've seen, it is wall-to-wall partying.
Dragon Con is wall-to-wall party because you don't really want to stay up in your room unless you have like a banging room and like that's where you're doing it. You do you, but like everybody is downstairs at the Marriott. Like, even if you're not a nightclub person, you're going to experience this. And can you do that? Do you want it? It's all up to that person. But I will say the daytime of Dragon Con is really cool because they have great meetups. Great.
So I've seen the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I am always endlessly inspired by the nonsense and shenanigans that comes out of Dragon Con.
It is fun. It is fun if you can handle that, and I don't like to say everyone needs to go because not everybody needs to go.
I mean, for me personally, I do love dancing. I love partying.
Mm-hmm. But there's no room for you to dance. That's the problem.
The night fantastic. Well, I mean, I was a trained dancer for a little bit.
Oh, well, of course. But there's literally no floor space, Tom. You don't see the floor. You see when you come in on Thursday night and you're like, oh, that's what the carpet looks like. And then you leave Monday and you're like, I haven't seen what the carpet looks like.
I don't know what the carpet looks like.
Yeah. So there's other things you can do at Dragon. There's all kinds of panels and other parties and other hotels to go to. But it's all about how you do it. So I always try to tell people to please come in with low expectations, even though it's the big one, chaotic. What everybody does.
So chaotic. Isn't it like the biggest convention on the East Coast?
Yeah. I don't know. It rivals New York Comic Con at least. I know those are the big two.
In terms of, so there's the convention con and then there's the hotel con. So the only two hotel cons that I'm aware of are KatsuCon and
it's different because cosplayers go to Dragon and KatsuCon. Fans go to New York City Comic Con and C2E2.
Yes, they do.
So like it's back and I mean we are both fan and cosplayer, but like your average New York City Comic Con person ain't gonna go to Dragon Con.
They are not going to travel to Dragon.
No. But maybe they will. I don't know. But it's such a different vibe, man. It's so different. But good.
It's definitely something to look into. The good thing is I don't have to worry about it until next year.
That's so true.
I don't have to worry about it. But I mean that's the conversation that we're all sort of having. All cosplayers across the country, across the world are like, well, what are we going to do? Oh no,
I will say
because there are plenty of places outside of the United States that are, actually doing all right with the COVID.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're fine. We're the only schmucks that have a problem.
We're the schmutzes. Hey, what's up? I will say my finances have been pretty good since I'm not spending thousands of dollars for hotel rooms and gas money. So
doing pretty great.
I'm doing good. I was noticing that the other day. I was like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm not spending a lot of money on hotel rooms or travel or plane tickets. I mean, that makes sense.
That was definitely a point for me to observe. Because again, the last convention that I went to was C2E2. I think I ended up spending about $300, maybe $400 on hotel. And
that's about right.
That's including everything else. That's including like food and such. And just knowing that I've been able to save some money throughout this entire thing, it's really just, it's bringing a lot of things into question for a lot of
Yeah. Like,
stuff.
is this worth it? And I don't like to say is cosplay worth it because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And now for me, it's a career for me. I have a brand now.
Yes, you
So
do. Your brand meeting.
I got a brand that I have to protect. I have my PR person, which is me. I gotta watch what I say on Twitter.
I have a
know?
stake in this claim right now. Good Lord.
It's true, and then like it's weird to think that, and I have to kind of like it now that I have this, and especially other things that are coming down and brands that I'm working with, and the whatever
But you're
personality I'm
also,
developing, I have to
I think
think about it.
you and Thron Duart, I think, are working with Alpha. If I'm not
Just me.
just you. Okay. Then he did, I remember he did something for Alpha
Mm-hmm.
this
He did
past,
earlier,
yeah, he did earlier.
but yeah, our contracts are up. I'm actually not with Alpha anymore, but yeah.
I
No,
apologize
it's
for bringing that up.
oh no, it's fine. It sucks for them because poor Alpha is not doing well right now, like a lot of companies. And so I'm just like, I
But I
always
think that,
talk about these.
that's on brand for, for 2020, that a lot of
I know.
having their struggle busting along.
Everybody's struggle busting. I did some articles for Michaels early this past month, where I wrote articles for them, and they paid me very well. But they first gave me a stipend to go to Michaels to get stuff for examples for the articles that I was writing. Yeah. I was like, sweet, off I go with a gift card to Michaels to get new stuff. They didn't have anything at Michaels. Like the paint aisle was empty. All of like the cosplay stuff that I was supposed to buy at a show in their articles was gone. I was like, Michael, what's going on? And apparently, like they're having stocking issues, or the fact that things are selling out. Like you can't get tie-dye anywhere. Tie-dye is so expensive. And I'm like, guys, it's just dye in bottles. But tie-dye kits, I was talking with my book agent lady for book 2. And she manages other people that do books and stuff. And one of the people that she was talking to works with the crafting industry. And it was something like the tie-dye market has gone up to like 400%. And I'm like, why? And she's like, children and mothers need shit to do. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So the hobby craft, they can't stock anything, but people are buying everything because everybody's bored. They got to entertain the kids.
It's hysterical. My cousin and her wife formed a company called Sweet as Dye, and that's what they do. They buy all the dye kits at all the craft stores, and they just make tie-dyed goods. And they're doing pretty okay because again, it's something to do.
It's something to do.
Something to do.
And that's kind of
those diamond dots things are still in vogue.
Diamond dots? What?
So I worked in a craft store up until the pandemic happened. And one of the things that I've always seen sold are those, those little tiny plastic diamonds where you like put the
it's like a paint by numbers, but with jewels.
Exactly.
Those are weird.
So weird. Oh man, is it weird?
But where they sell it out like crazy.
That's just what people have been doing. They've been looking for something to do.
Yeah.
And, for me, I have been, working on this show. I've been working on my Maud Live. I've been working on voiceover stuff. If I was to start sewing something, because the last thing I sewed myself was, I think, a Maud outfit that I made over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't touched the sewing machine unless to like sew a patch or something. And it's really one of those things where I'm like, I miss it, but what would I make and for where?
Yeah, and for where? Yeah,
and like
instead of just having it, you gotta have like I gotta have a destination.
Exactly. There needs to be a reason as to why I'm wearing this. There needs to be a reason as to what this is going to do for me in the long run. And I am unfortunate because I do not have any sort of connections to these establishments. I do not have a connection to Joann's. I do not have a connection to Michael's. So I can't even force myself to do that for the sake of PR.
Yeah.
And, it's just one of those things where I'm like, am I just making the costume for myself? Well, that's nice, but I can't wear a 12-foot cape to the grocery store. I can.
Yeah,
I most certainly can do that.
Oh man, but I would not be enjoyable with how cranky everybody is at the grocery store already.
Oh yeah. What, that cape is so long they're disrupting traffic. What if they?
My God, Timothy, don't step on the cape. Don't step on it. Can you move faster, sir? My son. My voice work. This is my audition tape.
That's the question that a lot of us are asking ourselves. Like, what is it that we're going to be designing these costumes for? Especially if we don't have the, how do I say this? If we don't have the necessity, if it is not necessary for us to create a costume, why would we?
Yeah. And that's a lot of
personal enjoyment. There's really no reason for us to do that.
Yeah. And then the worst part is when it's social media, that also makes you feel guilty that you're not.
Yes, correct. Because then you start seeing all of the other people who are creating it. Just like, oh, I want to do that too.
I've gotten a lot of messages like that. They're like, I'm so envious about you making stuff, or like, you're pumping out stuff so quickly. And I'm like, well, first off, this is how I live. If I wasn't making things, I would drive myself crazy.
Yep.
So this is all up to how you do your level of cosplay making, but don't let this be guilty on you. Yeah. This is something that I'm doing for my mental health, my brand, and whatever social media or just like I need to do this. So I've seen that a lot with people, and I've felt that as well. Like, whereas there was a portion of the year that like I was like, I need to get my butt in gear and release a new YouTube video every week. Yep. And because everybody else is doing it, why can't I? I have the time. I'm at home. Why am I not doing it? I'm like, I mean, it's hard.
It's good to know, because one of the booming like hashtags that I've seen are work in progress pictures. People love, adore, and appreciate seeing the process by which to make something.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's painting, whether it's sewing, whether it's embroidering, whether it's knitting, whether it's
#whip.
Like, people are obsessed with work in progress. Whether
it's weird
or what have you.
Yeah. Kind of makes me mad when like my work in progress photos get way more attention and engagement than my like finalized beautiful art pieces that I make with Alex. And I'm like, come on, y'all. This is what it was for. Jesus.
This is how I made it, but this is what it actually looks like, aren't you?
You want to see a muslin mock-up? Okay. Really boring and ugly.
Oh my goodness. So I'm now going to ask, how did you get to that point where you were being paid to create content?
I don't freaking know. I mean, honestly, like I have numbers, but they're not massive. Like they're good. I have good engagement. I have a community that I'm real deep in, but I don't have the biggest numbers. I know tons of other people that have numbers that are triple mine, but I think it's a combination of the amount of stuff that I put out there, I guess, and also my personality, because as weird as it may be, people are like, I like watching your YouTube because you're fun, and I'm like, why?
But that's why? That's just it. That level of personability and personality is what will take you very far.
It does. And it's very strange because I've always been a person that's a little more outgoing than most. I like to make people laugh and weird faces. But I mean, ultimately, it's my skill set. That's what you're seeing. You know, I'm not here. You're not just getting acting, Amanda. You're getting a seamstress.
The
you know, so
is just the icing on the cake.
It's also, don't like to say it, but it also is people you know in the industry, you know, and then say in the industry, there is a cosplay industry. Like
Yes,
brands are wanting to work with us. They know this person who knows this person who knows this person.
There was something that I saw yesterday that a friend that I you know, you're friends on Facebook with everybody, but you're not really friends with them.
Yeah. You're just okay, you know.
You're just okay. You're an acquaintance. And the post that I saw was basically like, there are cosplayers out there that feel that they are celebrities, that they feel that they are famous, that they feel that they are this. And it's like, well, some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them are established some people have established careers in cosplay. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's really no shame in that, because there are people that will continuously view it as a hobby. Yeah. And then there are people that will view it as a career.
Mm-hmm. And I'm on that line. I have no idea what this is for me right now. I mean, if you would ask, someone's like, this is your career. And I'm like, it is, but it's not. I still work a 9 to 5. Like, I still work a 9 to 5, guys. This isn't all of it. But yes, I am making good coin off of a book, but I still made the book while working a 9 to 5.
What was it? I remember reading in Philip's book, one of his books, one of the 3 in the series, that he created a pie chart of his income. Mm-hmm. And it was like 25% is 9 to 5 work. 25% is commission work. 25% is like just different. I'm not saying that it was all 25%, but it was like all different pieces of that pie that had different denominations on it. Like, I think it was 17% of his income came from guest appearances. So it's not like everything comes from just guest appearances. There's more to cosplay than just the guest appearances.
There is definitely now.
Yeah, well,
definitely now, because a lot of my friends that do guesting spots, like they're like, what do I do now? And I'm like, start a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel. Like, you guys still get your name out there. The thing with this cosplay industry is that you've got to freaking hustle if you want this to like be your jam, and you can still have it your jam, whatever level. Like, I don't do a lot of guesting stuff. To be honest, I'm not a fan of it. Like,
I get it.
I'd rather go guest. I like judging competitions. I like doing stuff like that. But you know, I really enjoy making tutorials. I like teaching people. I like to tell you about how to start your own cosplay by doing this and that and this. That's my version of how to monetize this weird thing that I'm doing. It's all over the place. I don't know how I started working with these things now. Now I'm looking at it like, how did I get that? I don't know. I have a very cool email address.
There is no right or wrong way to make a name for yourself when it comes to cosplay. Some people do it by being an educator. Some people do it by being a personality. Some people will do it by competing. Some people just by reaching out to the right people. And you know, there's really no one way. There's no secret.
No,
like, there's no secret on how to do it.
There are ways to help you get there.
There are ways to definitely.
Competitions definitely got me in the eyes of front of people, and choosing which competitions that I'm doing and what I'm competing in definitely got me in the front of people. That I will say yes on that.
I'm glad we're bringing that up. How long have you been competing?
My first convention was my first competition. Well, I've been a very competitive person my entire life. I used to play competitive tennis and almost went to school for it. And so I've competed, and I like competing. I don't know. I like pain in competing. But no, I see the first convention that I ever went to, we jumped into that costume contest. The first one, I was like, all right, let's go, get on stage, let's do it. And my other girls were like, maybe not. And I'm like, it's fine. Let's all hit a pose. Let's do it. I'm very comfortable with being in front of people. Like I've never had that issue. So yeah, I've been competing as long as I've been cosplaying.
That's fabulous.
And that's also like, it's that, especially early on, gave me goals of what to do because I was making costumes for competition early. So, and that was like my goal in cosplay was to be a finalist at D23 or be a finalist at the Crown and, work your way up there. So those were my goals. Now it's shifted a bit because I just don't, I'm not making these things that are puffing out wings and with smoke and stuff. It's not what I want to make. So my version of competition is a little different, or, I really like to go just to meet people and maybe sell a print or two here and there. I don't know, but I enjoy going and meeting people and especially seeing stuff that people have used my tutorial for to make a thing. That makes me happy, the most happy.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful. And I am continuously inspired, continually proud. Very proud.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
You've exceeded all of your expectations and you continue to surprise yourself.
I do. I keep thinking, what? I'm like, what am I gonna do? What is the next thing that's gonna plop in my lap that I'm going to surprise myself on? Never know.
You never know. It's very true.
Always keep your email open, everyone. That's the moral of the story.
That is advice to take home with you. Always, always keep your email readily at the touch of your finger. Just open.
There you go. You never know what'll plop in that inbox.
I mean, that was also one of the reasons why a lot of people, when they started cosplaying, more and more, they got business cards with all of their socials on it, all of their because you would hand it out and it would just be there.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, who is that person? Who is that person that was there?
I always forget my business cards when I go to conventions. I always do. And I
am very much the same way.
But early on, I remember I would have those things and I'd chuck them out like candy.
Get out like government cheese.
Yes, like government cheese. Would you like some cheese, sir? Follow me on my social media.
Oh my goodness gracious. This has been a marvelous, marvelous conversation, which brings us to our final question. What is your favorite type of dipping sauce for your chicken nuggets?
Oh my gosh, I'm from the Midwest, and of course it's ranch. I would have my Midwest card taken from me if I didn't say ranch. However, if I'm feeling spicy mayo.
Okay,
yeah. or put the hot sauce in with the ranch and make spicy ranch.
Ooh, daring.
I know. If I'm feeling it spicy, if it's like a Friday night and it's just me and my cat in costumes, I'm like, spicy ranch.
Now, do you discriminate against chicken nuggets or do you like all of them?
I like all of them. I will say my favorite fast food chicken nugget is definitely Wendy's. However, I love McDonald's. I'm not going to lie. I love trashy food.
They are the timeless classic in chicken nuggetry.
Yes, honestly it is. But if you're asking like the top level fast food chicken nugget, I think it's a chicken tender and it's from Raising Cane's. Have you ever eaten at Raising Cane's?
I am unfamiliar with Raising Cane's.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It blows your mind kind of level good.
Write that down now. Raising Cane's, you said?
Raising Cane's. They have the most simple. I love this chat so much, Tom. They have the simplest menu. There's only like 4 things you can choose from, and it's like a 3, 4, and like a 5-piece nugget basket. It comes with crinkle fries and a piece of Texas toast. And the dipping sauce they serve, it's specific cane sauce, is like crack in a cup. I swear. I don't know. I don't know why, but it is the best chicken nugget out there. And people will contest me on that. I can already feel it. Come at me.
They're entitled to their wrong opinion. Your opinion
Raisin
is
Cane.
the only one that matters in terms of chicken nuggetry, and I will not hear another word about it.
I swear I could probably go to Raisin Cane's in my Baby Yoda outfit and be like, sponsor me. Because I'm a fan.
Listen, Monica and Philip are trying so desperately to get the Popeyes. They want that Popeyes sponsorship so badly.
Oh my God. You know, when there comes a day when cosplayers are being tapped for fast food sponsorships, we have made it. We've made it.
Hey, have you seen Arby's and their ads?
I have. Those are so
cool. They're this close.
Mm-hmm.
We are this close, friend.
Yeah, they're bringing out nerdum in curly fries, and I'm like, let's chat.
Let's talk. My email is such and such. Please.
There you go. There you go.
So we are at the hour mark. This is the part where you have to plug everything.
Well, I'm JediManda everywhere. I mean, I think the only thing I don't have active right now is Snapchat. And if you have Snapchat active, cool.
Hey, they have that premium content, man. They have that.
They do, I guess. Yeah, but I'm primarily on the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, JediManda.com. I have a pretty awesome blog that I talk a lot about cool stuff, and you can come buy this thing there, or you can get it on Amazon, and it's at Joann's, and you can get it at Barnes & Noble, and I think it's at Target.com. Yeah.
You're all over.
Get your book. Get your book. And it's also beautiful. It's not just pictures of me inside. I have other people in here too. And that was really weird. That was a really part of weird about making this, was the fact that they were like, we want all the pictures of you. We just want you in here. And I'm like, but I don't want to look at me the whole time. Like, I need to show you that there's diversity besides just this white girl from Kentucky, okay? Like, there's men, there's people from different backgrounds.
I think a lot of new brands are like really to understand that there is more than one type in the cosplay community.
Yeah, and I find that extremely, extremely important. And if I have some power to push it out there, I'm going to be like, look, there's more than just this type of person. When you Google cosplay, bless Jessica Negri's heart, but there's more than just a Pikachu Jessica Negri, I swear.
If you want to follow me, you can at that Tomcat on all forms of social media. I am that Tomcat literally everywhere. My Gmail is that Tomcat. I'm everywhere.
I love it. It's fantastic. You make the socials so much more fun and happy, and I love clicking on your little show. I seriously do.
Social media is political. Oh man, I have been posting nothing but political nonsense.
It's been fun. I've been on the fun train. I've been liking your shit. It's been good.
Thank you. I do appreciate.
So you have a fan over here.
My heart feels so much better that you're liking my stuff.
I am. I mean, all I post is Baby Yoda memes and derpy memes I find, because I personally believe that, like, my personal side of social media, which isn't much anymore, which kind of stinks, but I just want to be funny and dumb, and like, I'm just gonna post memes. Like, we'll chat in DMs if you want to chat, but I'm gonna post a lot of memes. That's how I live my life.
Lots and lots and lots of. Amanda, it has been an absolute joy having.
Yeah, this was fun.
I am very much excited to have you on again. Probably when the next big Baby Yoda wave hits, I'll be like, Amanda.
Oh my God. I have heard the next couple episodes are gonna be an emotional roller coaster.
Oh good.
So
that's exciting.
Maybe.
That's very exciting. But
I'm scared.
So much for being here.
Yes.
And I will see you guys next week on another episode of Catt Chat. Ciao meow for now, guys. Bye.
Bye.